I want to try an experiment, and I'll tell you why in a minute. Here goes. I will answer every single question you have about growing your YouTube channel if you watch this video and comment below all of your questions so that I can reply to you. In the meantime, whilst you think of those questions, I'm going to answer a bunch of questions from aspiring YouTubers on Reddit. Alright, let's pull up the first question. Oh, and I'm Archer and I've gotten hundreds of millions of long-form YouTube video views across a dozen different niches, and I spend every minute that I'm conscious, and sometimes unconscious, thinking about how to grow YouTube channels. Okay, so first question is quantity over quality actually good advice for new YouTubers? What's your take? Ooh. Okay, so quality and quantity can be kind of split off into two different categories from a YouTube algorithm perspective. When you post quality videos that are really, long and they take a long time to produce, like for example, a Vsauce video, a Mark Rober video, a William Rust video or something like that, then because you're posting so infrequently, YouTube needs you to get really, really good data on that early viewers. So like a really high click-through rate, really good average view duration, and really good engagement in order for YouTube to justify pushing you to a higher audience. Because they're kind of gambling because you're only posting a video, once every month or every 2 months. Whereas if you post daily or multiple times a day, YouTube's looking at that as, oh, it's easier to accumulate views here and push this to viewers because it's not much of a risk, right? Because the videos are shorter and they're more frequent. So to put that into like a numbers context, if you had an hour-long video and you only posted one a month, you might be expected by YouTube to get more than 30 minutes average view duration in order for that to do well in the algorithm. But if you posted 1 hour videos every day, you might only need like 15 minutes for YouTube to accept it. When it comes to deciding which one that you should do, it's kind of a balance of like what time you have and what's the production cost going to be. Like if creating really quality videos is going to break the bank, then you're probably better doing quantity instead. Next question. How do I switch niches? Ooh, my initial instinct here is always like just start a new channel, but I guess it's a little bit more nuanced than that. There's really two things to consider here. Firstly is if your channel is personally branded or not. If your channel is personally branded, a niche switch is reasonably possible as long as it's not a massive 180 and completely irrelevant to your current audience. And if it's not a personally branded channel, i.e. it's a faceless channel, you're going to really struggle to pivot to any kind of different niche because the people aren't showing up for you, they're showing up for the concept of the video and the information that they're going to get. So let's say you're a personally branded channel and you genuinely want to switch niches. What you want to do is slowly introduce videos that are tangential to the topics that you currently cover and also cover topics that are relevant to your existing audience, i.e. things that they might watch on other people's channels that you don't currently make on your own. Now, if that's not the case and that doesn't exist, then you're kind of screwed. Is it possible to grow a YouTube channel in 25? How are new YouTubers meant to compete with massive channels? Okay, so the first part of that, yes, I've monetized 4 this year, I think, myself, and my clients at least a dozen. So yes, obviously it's possible. And how are new YouTubers meant to compete with massive channels? They're not. You're not supposed to. You have the wrong mindset here. Essentially, what you need to do as a new YouTuber is carve out a new space for you to operate within. Like, you can't compete with someone like MrBeast if you're thinking he's my aspiration, because you don't have the budget, the skills, the knowledge, or the network to do so. So in this case, I think the guy he's a small business owner / artist. So you should be looking at the current landscape for how people make art content on YouTube and be like, okay, how can I do something different in terms of storytelling, in terms of format, in terms of medium? Can I bring more personality? How is my art different to other people? And if you manage to mix those components together in a different and interesting new way, then you'll start to grow. And you won't be competing with those people because you'll have made this your own thing. So when new people see your videos,
they won't be like, oh, he's kind of like this guy. They'll be like,
oh, this is new. And they'll start watching you, and then you'll start growing. And then eventually, it'll look like you're competing with some of the other art YouTubers because you'll have the same scale of audience as them. How much does a YouTube thumbnail really impact your video's click-through rate? Okay, this one's really easy. It's an exponential impact. Let me give you an example. Let's say you get 100 impressions on a video and you get a 5% click-through rate, so you get 5 views. If you double that click-through rate to 10% on that 100 impressions, you would get 10 views, which is a linear increase. It's not exponential. However, what's happened is YouTube has recognized that your videos are getting a higher click-through rate, which means they're more desirable for people to watch, which means YouTube is going to push your video to more people. So instead of getting 100 impressions, you might get 200 impressions. And that 200 impressions at 10% gets you 20 views. So you've gone from 5 views to 20 views with only doubling your click-through rate. So you've 4x'd view performance, hence exponential. What percentage of likes is considered good? I would say at least 95% on every video. Usually if you're dipping below 95%, it's because you've done something really controversial, and your audience either doesn't like it, or there's just a lot of turbulence in the audience and debate around it. Have you ever changed an established channel name? What were the consequences? Yeah, funnily enough, I've tried changing the names on this channel that you're watching this video on, and another YouTube strategy channel that I have, which is more for entrepreneurs. What happened was, because my channel's relatively new, when I changed the names on one of the channels, if you searched my full name, Archer Warren, you just wouldn't find that channel anymore, because I'd changed the name to something else. If you have a much bigger and more established channel and you change the name, like one of my clients, Simon, changed the name of one of his like space themed channels, typically it will still show up, but it's better to keep the name or like nomenclature very similar. So like, let's say you have a channel called TLDR News and you just change to TLDR. That's probably a much safer change than changing from TLDR News to News Global Today or something like that. But generally, I don't recommend changing your channel name massively. Like, let's say you've got your full name like Archer Warren, maybe I could change it down to Archer or maybe to Warren, but you don't want to completely change it to something new. Do super short videos make less money than longer videos that are still under 8 minutes? Yes, and this is an interesting question, and if you think about the nuance of this, it'll make perfect sense. So if I post a video that's 1 minute long, obviously I'm only going to get a pre-roll and a post-roll. There'll be no mid-roll. But it's not really acceptable to a viewer who wants to watch a 1 minute video to be slapped with a 20 to 60 second unskippable ad at the beginning of that video. So instead of that, YouTube will usually show them a skippable ad or just a bumper ad. What this means is you're being shown ads that have lower dollar value than if you were posting a 7-minute video, because on that 7-minute video, you might be able to put an unskippable ad on there and the person will still watch the video. And essentially, YouTube is curating that between those different video lengths under 8 minutes. So a 7-minute video will almost always have a higher RPM than a 1-minute video. Top YouTube extensions, what are yours? They've mentioned here in their question things like vidIQ, clickbait remover, TubeBuddy, and some random other things which are more like quality of life as opposed to strategic YouTuber. From a strategic YouTuber point of view, the only app you legitimately need is TubeLab. Maybe I'm biased because I use it myself, and I have a discount code, Archer20, if you want to use TubeLab, but this video isn't sponsored, but I can see how it feels that way. Anyway, TubeLab is a great system for filtering through YouTube and finding new breakout niches and outliers and all of the different things that you need to put together in order for your videos and your new channels to blow up really quickly. And it's super easy to use, and the UI is great, and it's stupidly cheap. Like, I even messaged the owner to tell him a few weeks ago that it was too cheap. So maybe get in now before he, changes the price on it. But yeah, TubeLab is absolutely the #1 place to start, and it's only like $10 to $20 a month, so it's awesome. Why does YouTube stop pushing my shorts after around 1.2k views? Because they suck. Okay, so that's a bit tongue-in-cheek, but it's true. Essentially, the YouTube Shorts algorithm operates a lot more like TikTok than the YouTube long-form algorithm, if that makes sense. Essentially, YouTube pushes Shorts really aggressively, very quickly when they first release, because the cost of failure is really low. Because when the viewers on that video, they can just do this to get to the next one. So the transition cost is really low and it's really fast. Whereas if you're on a long-form video, they have to kind of, scroll down this section or type in a new video to find something. So on a long-form video, YouTube tests more conservatively. On these shorts, YouTube is pushing really, really quickly, which is why you're getting 500 views or 1,000 views or 1.2k views very quickly. And then YouTube's cutting it dead when they realize that people are actually just swiping away a lot and you're getting really bad data. Are high production value videos worth making? He's got a channel called Golf Cart, tightly edited documentaries on social media creators. We've made 11 videos so far, 70k subs. The business model's brutal, can't get higher than $4 RPM, takes 3 weeks to make, and they end up losing money. Okay, so now if you're losing money on a net basis, then the answer to that is probably no, but maybe there's something that you can do which improves the amount of view volume that you're getting. But more generally speaking, on like are high production value videos worth making? Yes, if it makes sense within the context of what you're trying to achieve. So let's say you were an educational creator and everyone in your niche at the moment is making like low quality, scrappy videos where it's like unscripted talking heads and it's all shot on their iPhone. Then I would say making high production value videos is absolutely a great idea because you will instantly be distinguished away from everyone else. take, for example, Marques Brownlee and Linus Tech Tips in the early 2010s. They massively increased their production quality beyond everyone else in the space very early on, which made them really stand out as like the go-to authority on this. Fast forward 10 years, now everyone has a really nice camera and really nice studio lighting and a good videographer, so almost all of their videos look the same, and high production value is not a way that you can differentiate in that niche anymore. It wouldn't make sense if you were a new YouTuber making tech videos to be like,
I'm gonna have crazy production quality like Marques Brownlee.
Because you're not going to outcompete them, and by competing with them, you're not distinguishing yourself away from them in any way. Ooh, last question. How do you respond to hate comments? Ignore or respond? Fuck them, they're not real people. Most of the videos that I make are faceless, so hate comments don't really feel like they're directed at me. They're directed at the mental abstraction that the commenter has about the person who made the video. And I don't care because I usually am not the one who wrote the video. I'm not the one who edited the video. Sometimes I'm the guy who voiced the video, but again, I don't care what you think of my voice. I know it sounds awful. So I think that the easiest thing to consider is just like, that person doesn't know you. They might even be a bot, and it's not like a real personal attack, because if it was, they'd be like messaging it to you and your family members and people that you know, right? And they can't do that because they don't know you. You're just an avatar on a screen. I guess you said, do I ignore them or respond? No, never add fuel to the fire. So if there's a hate comment about you because they don't like your voice, or they think your beard's messy, or they don't like that you're bald like I am, then like just don't engage with those people, because there will be more people like them who are moody who will start arguing with you, and it's really just not worth it. And all you're doing is like causing the Streisand effect, where you bring more attention to something because someone's complaining about it and now you're addressing it. And that's it. Hopefully you've thought of all your questions and written them below, and I will genuinely reply to them all. And if there's any questions that you have after that, you can always join my school community. It's stupidly cheap, and people have been getting pretty good results so far.